morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworks because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworks with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworks with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworks on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Rail Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworks with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworks and become an Iron Scout.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
And a TGIF to you all.
Thank God it's Friday.
And it is Friday indeed. Welcome to the Ironworks right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Josh, Walt, and Zach hanging out with you this morning. It's been a week. It's been a series of days strung together. Full stop.
Yes, it has.
Full stop. There it is. It has been a day after a day, then another day. Yes, it has. Unfortunately, been a week. Or fortunately, I guess, if you're working for the weekend. Hello, everyone. It is Ironworks. That was Josh. I'm Walt. Zach's here as well. Missing our buddy Lucas.
And Lucas.
And Lucas.
So I got some bad news for everybody.
Yeah.
Flat Earth Focker, Mac, passed away yesterday. Not sure how it happened, what happened. But yeah, it was confirmed that Mac the Flat Earth Focker has left his, this one hit me in a weird way. Not sure why. Focker and I, we didn't really do any hangouts or anything like that. We only saw each other at conferences and whatnot, but we chatted sometimes in the chat, just messing around with each other. But we had after one of the conferences, I forget which one it was, we were having a conversation about, what is truly loving somebody. And what does that consist of? To truly love somebody with all your heart. And we both came to the conclusion that it's telling them the truth. No matter how much it hurts you or how much it hurts them, the truth is the way you can love somebody the most. And that was him who told me that. And I will remember that forever. Because it is so true. So Mac, I love you, brother. Give him hell up there, man. He will.
Oh, he is. He definitely is. Yeah, unfortunately, like you, I didn't get to know him in a very personal way at all. He was on our show at least a couple of times. I think he was even hanging out in some of the early days stuff we were trying to attempt here and there. He got in that situation after the Flattoberfest last year. He was streaming a lot, and I just happened to be timing it right to catch his streams, and they were very true to the heart, very emotional. And then he started getting into some trouble there at home because of him breaking quarantines and bullshit, demic crap, and just all the stuff he got into. Didn't know he was ill at all. I do see. I posted a story there in our chat. I'll share it there in our show description. Just really no serious clue yet. He had apparently reported being sick, feeling ill for a couple of days prior to this, and then seems like his wife found him sick. Passed away. So our heart and prayers, and definite anything that we can do, hopefully, to help out, let us know. I think he had a daughter as well, if I'm not mistaken. So our heart goes out to the family, without a doubt. So, but yeah, definitely shocking news. Call me crazy. It's really funny how two very high-profile individuals in our circles have passed very recently. Guys who were in the news quite a bit, not just our version of news, but the twisted, fucked up real world's version of mind control fuckery news. Sorry, I'm really pissed right now about this whole situation. The idea that, making an example of someone who's come out quite vocally about all the bullshit and was actually, I think, in some trials, if I'm not mistaken, because of it. Again, kind of lose touch. There's so many people in this amazing community that we keep up with, and I think we kind of spoke about this with Jibby Jedi, this idea of, just people not necessarily being forgotten, but just there's so many of us now. I haven't even looked at the map in days. I know 30,000 plus. It's hard. I think that's also part of the whole idea of this internet thing and these communities that we build socially on these fucking platforms. And again, I love these families. It's just the idea that they've got us so spread apart. Our energy is so thin. You know what I'm saying? When your family's right in your home, or right next door, or right in your community, or right in your town, that energy can only go so far. We know the law of whatever it is, I don't know, but like with electricity, it can only travel so far through the air without it not reaching its destination. So that has to be a thing. And granted, when we pull that energy in one direction, we can do fucking amazing shit with it. But when we're so spread out with our intent and with our love and with our energy, it can definitely let people fall through the cracks. And again, not forgotten, just not kept up with, I guess maybe is the way to say it. And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating knowing, how simple it can be that just suddenly here one day, one gone the next, with no one even knowing at all until after the fact. And that's just saddening and pisses me the fuck off. Sorry, I'll shut up and stop bitching. But yeah, lots of love and lots of concern and care, and anyone that knows how to reach out and let the family know, we can help, we will. So love you, man. Miss you a lot already.
Yep. Yeah. It's a week.
Yeah, Mac was definitely one of those characters you're not going to forget. What you saw on videos, that's how Mac was, at least at all the conferences I saw him. That guy was not scared to speak his truth. Which, kind of meant that he loved everybody. And, yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It still hasn't really set in yet. I found out last night. And, I had trouble falling asleep. Then I had people calling at 2:30 a.m. about this. So yeah, it's hitting the community for sure. And it's weird, I know the newer people, a lot of you probably haven't even seen Mac because he hasn't been as active in FE lately.
Right. Yep. And that's what I was saying about not forgotten. Just there's so many of us, and I see BCB there saying, "I beg to differ, Walter. Power and connections way more powerful than we all know. That's why we're all here." Exactly. I knew this was going to come across wrong because I'm pissed and I'm angry and I'm hurt and I'm upset and it's fucking shit. All right, calm down. What I'm saying to people is that it's the intent. It's the holding it in the conscious mind. It's not getting distracted by the world, which we all do. It's impossible not to. It's the fucking system they have us trapped in, you know. And when we're not at a conference and when we're not making content and when we're not, you know, reaching out daily to these certain people, goddamn, I don't know. I'm just rambling probably at this point. I'll shut up. Just know it's not that I don't think we can do what we're doing. It's not that at all. It's that we have to keep that focus and intent, you know, and that whole idea of being the content maker, being the person doing the research, being the person out there doing the smacking and the creative, amazing stuff that this whole community is doing. And there's only so much energy in a person, you know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Go ahead, Zach. I'll shut the fuck up.
Well, let's say hello to Jonathan real quick. Jonathan, were you aware of Flat Earth Focker? Did you ever catch any of his stuff? Did you see anything he'd ever done?
No, why? What happened? What did I walk into?
Oh, his wife walked into the bathroom yesterday and found him passed there in the bathroom. They're not entirely sure why, as far as I know.
Who was this again? What was his name?
It was
Flat Earth Focker.
Yeah,
was what his handle was.
Mac.
He was, Canadian.
Or I'm probably pronouncing that totally wrong.
You know, I'm sorry to hear this, though, to walk into this.
It's the third Flat Earther in almost as many weeks.
Yep. Pretty crazy.
Like OG Flat Earther, even. It's weird.
Wow.
Yeah, it is weird. It is very strange.
And the fact that he's all over the news in Canada, being, you know, that's where his trial was going on, about him fighting the fake bullshit that we're all existing under right now is very telling. Very telling. But I don't want to get off on that. How are you, Jonathan? Sir, have you finally settled in back at the home stomping grounds, my friend? Uh-oh, let's hear this.
No, there's nothing to tell. I'm not telling anything anymore.
I'm here now on the phone. That much I can say.
I'm just here. Yeah.
You know, I went to listen to you guys, and I didn't hear you on the airwaves. Something else was on the live player.
Really?
Yeah, it was some woman or somebody with short blonde hair. When I was at TFR Live, so I didn't know if you guys were broadcasting out or not. Or if it was stuck, if the machine was stuck with the old tape.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, not sure, dude. I know Chris has been doing some changes across the board. Like every aspect of TFR is being revamped, it would seem. So
he got his marching orders from the Illuminati.
Maybe so. Shut that shit down, buddy.
The Illuminati.
No. It would seem apparently that the ISP got hacked or something, or I don't know. He had to switch providers. There was a whole thing. I'm not sure exactly what the issue was.
Interestingly enough, I don't actually technically see a call there where we should be seeing one. That doesn't mean anything, I know, but yeah, it is possible that we're not actually there on the TFR feed.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I did not hear any break music. I did not hear anything like that coming in. The intros, no commercials.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are on the air.
Well, credentials still work, so there's that.
Yeah, they haven't locked us out of the studio just yet. We'll lock ourselves in, damn it, if it comes to it.
So, have you heard is there a lot of, have you been out and about the new New Jersey governor? Is that?
Oh no, I was up live when that happened. I mean, at 1:54 a.m., I saw the numbers flip the same way in Bergen County. And Bergen County is one of the most corrupt scumbag counties around here.
And that's Jersey, mind you.
Yeah, no, they're pretty scumbag up there. There in Essex, I mean, whatever.
So is there a lot of talk on the streets and stuff about people happy?
I haven't talked to anybody up here. Nobody cares. I mean, no, everybody expects it up here, I guess. I'm so fed up with the state. I said something yesterday. I posted. I was like, you don't realize how pathetic this state's become until you move out for a year. It's just not the same place I grew up. But it's always been a blue state. It's always been, going that way. Between the teachers' unions and all the blue collar, all the unions itself that work in New York City and everywhere else. So they're told how to vote. They don't have a mind of their own. And that's it. But it was interesting, that truck driver guy won with a $153 budget. Most of it spent at Dunkin' Donuts, and he won over some guy who was in for 20 years. And supposedly they never conceded yet. They were saying, "Oh, we found extra votes. How convenient."
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they flipped that, because that guy was connected, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, career politician.
Yeah, something like that. he represents a certain party, which I've already slighted. Certain interests. Listen, I'm not telling you how to vote, because that's your personal right. You got the freedom to vote. That's why you got the convenience of that box. I'm just saying, Democrats kind of a good way to vote. You know what I mean? That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, I think I don't know why I've never gotten into politics before, but I love watching this whole woke agenda die. There's something about it, about all this, being woke is now dumb. People are finally catching on that, we don't want this. I don't want to live like that. And it's kind of refreshing to see, parents and all these people standing up and saying no.
Yeah, no, it's coming, man. It was funny. Before I went to bed last night, I'm still not awake because I only got up to take a piss. I was watching like old. I like to watch old movie clips, and I was watching the scene from Rambo, the original First Blood.
Just thinking about that movie on Tuesday, during the show. Well, just probably for this very reason, about what happens when you don't leave people alone that want to be left alone.
Thank you. See that? There's a reason why I watched it right before, but just a mere 4 hours ago. It's so bizarre. And I was starting to type. Here's what I like to do, by the way. So Google and all these other algorithms and machines, they read what you type. I mean, they're keyloggers, right? So I write these really explicit, detailed, terroristic, you name it, of what's going to happen. And instead of hitting enter, I delete it, and then I start over again. And I make sure they get all of it.
I do that a lot, only I don't delete it. I just don't ever send it. Like, I'll go to Twitter and I'll type out some big nasty comment, but rather than pressing send, I'll just back out of it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Well, Twitter will discard it, but some of them, it'll just close it out, but it'll like save it right there. So they know it's there. Right. You've just never sent it.
All right, see, Josh, you know where I'm going with this. So I just thought, it was like two scenes specifically where Rambo didn't want to be messed with, and they tried to dry shave him. And, what he did right then and there as a reaction to an action. And I'm thinking, I was like, when the American people keep coming at us with those vaccines and these mandates and everything like that, you're going to find out all those guys are in the service and all those people have had enough. You're going to turn into little Rambos and Rambettes.
I drop first blood.
Rambettes.
Yeah. It's coming.
Did you first blood?
Huh? It's true. Yeah, I used to love the Rocky impersonation for that iced tea commercial, and the guy's yelling at him in the corner. What's his name? Burgess Meredith, and he's like, "It's over, Rocky. It's over." He goes, "Nothing's over until I say it's over." Remember the claymations?
Yeah.
And he knocks the shit out of Clubber Lang or whoever his opponent is. Oh man.
For as corny as they were really good movies.
Oh yeah, taking
back in the 80s.
12 to 15 rounds of punches to your head, never putting your fist up once, blocking or ducking a shot. There's my strategy. Where I am, my head. Right? It's crazy.
I just hear all these different quote lines through all the different movies. I've seen them so many times. My mom loved those movies. In part 5, where Adrian's telling Rocky, "We live this way." "I know which way I live. I know."
I was going off on her yesterday. She was ugly. She looked like he beat her as practice. That was one ugly broad.
Beat her with the ugly stick.
Huh?
I made her look quite homely in that first movie.
Homely. Just remember, this is a time when women didn't shave. That 70s. No, anyway, I don't want to go there.
That 70s mustache.
It's like mustache, what I call it. That I was thinking of full beard, but I was thinking, it's like when they served up Margot Kidder as Superman's. Like, really, this friggin' guy with these broad shoulders and good-looking, features, blue eyes. He was just banging Jane Seymour in Somewhere in Time, and you're gonna pair him up against that ugly broad. She looks like she looks like she tastes like an ashtray, like Forrest Gump. You taste like an ashtray. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, she was, I don't know. She looks like, I know what type she looks like, but I can't even say that. She looks like a Jersey girl, really. She doesn't even look like she's from New York. She looks like a chick you'd find in one of these bars in one of these seaside towns that drinks too much, smokes too much. I'm not going to go there.
So have you heard any new flat Earth info lately? Anything catch your eye?
Who was I talking to? A woman out of Jacksonville area, or Daytona or somewhere. Flat Earth Goddess. You know her?
It does sound vaguely
Blonde
familiar.
Trucker.
It rings bells, right?
She's a trucker.
I may have fixed the TFR studios too. It was muted
They're
and
saying
didn't
it's
unmute.
working.
So I had to manually unmute the studio. So it's telling me that we are on air now instead of muted. So if anybody there in the
that also
TFR
was the
studio
thing.
chat
Correct. Thank you, sir.
could let me know if they can hear us now, I'd be real curious.
Well, I've actually been checking in the chats there, trying to make sure what's going on. Because as I said, I know Chris is making some changes, trying to get things back on track after all the issues. So we're definitely happy with that, and pardon our progress, I guess, would be the cliche. Shout out Alan Holman, line producer. Glad to have you here, buddy. Glad things are changing for you in your life as well. You go take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
It's cool. I was going to ask you about the conference, because I know she went up to the conference.
I don't recall meeting her.
Huh?
There were.
She said she spoke to you. I asked her specifically.
Lots of people there.
Yeah, I spoke. I may know her actual name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got more real names than people just throwing out their handles.
Yeah, true that. That's true.
But yeah, I'm sure I spoke to her. God, there were so many new people, new faces, Jonathan. It was insane. I'd never seen so many new faces.
I was tempted to go. I was just where was I that weekend? I think I was already up to West Virginia. I was heading to. I was like a little too early in my launch, where I would have lined up and went there, but whatever.
Yeah, you got to get to one. It was a good time for sure. Spartanburg will be forever changed after this. On David Weiss's app, there was like 42 blue dots within 50 kilometers of my area. And here we're 3 weeks later. Let me check
Oh,
real quick. Yeah, it went up. It definitely went up. Yep, we're at 60.
30,223 on the app currently. I just checked.
So wait a minute, does Karen get a special pin, like instead of a blue dot, does she have like a big fat, some other colored dot or something, because she's the queen bee of the flat earth?
Nope, everybody's a blue dot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, David's like doubling, tripling down on this blue dot thing. He loves it. He's making T-shirts and hats and all kinds of stuff that say, "Are you a blue dot?" or "I'm a blue dot."
Right.
Just as a conversation starter. You see somebody wearing that, you're like, blue dot.
No, but I was thinking somebody who's like David or her or yourself that are like more like not just administrators, but actually know, because a blue dot can know nothing. They might bought the app and they don't know as much as somebody like you guys. So I was wondering if there was a star or a feature that shows like
That's a good idea. I know David was going. He was gonna make it so you can put in a profile, this and that, and then I don't think he's gonna change the actual colors of the dots though.
Gotcha.
He should make it like the Pokemon game. So you go around and you collect other blue dots.
I got one better. You guys call me blue dots, and then the administrators and other people could be like the Squid Game, like square, circle, or triangle.
Oops, are we in the break period? I just went to check and I see that we possibly are, guys. Sorry, we're having technical issues.
I mean,
yeah, we're not hearing it. So if we're talking through the
I realize we're not hearing it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going out somewhere.
I consider those breaks just like speed limit signals and red lights and shit. I don't care.
All right, everybody take a left. Take a left here.
Sound like you're from Detroit. I love Detroit, but those people up there drive crazy.
2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts make a right?
That's New Orleans. You're driving there. All the 3 lefts make a right. That is definitely driving in New Orleans. But you have to go down 3 blocks to make that left.
Speaking of making left-hand turns, well, never mind. I won't tell that one. Just know that some cops are nice. Some cops are really nice. I got off with a warning. I was a black cop, so there's no such thing as racism like people say in the news. We looked at each other. I talked to him. He says, "Yeah, I can hear it in your voice." He goes, "I know you're not the problem." My cohort, though, my passenger, whose car it was, told me that it was perfectly legal to have an open can in the car while driving. And then...
Do you think it's Mississippi or something?
I'm not going to say where or who, but I'm going to say that it was their car and it wasn't inspected. And I was going to get, burrito, and the cop, like, I'm wondering, why is this guy letting me go? She's letting me go, and I make a left. Turns out these no left turn signs were on every intersection there, but it was way up. Like they put it in a very clever place. It wasn't like where you would look for it. So if you were too far forward on the line, you couldn't see it, right? It's above the ridge line of your windshield. So he pulls me over, and I'm right in front of the place. I'm clean. I'm good. He goes, "No, I know." And she forgets her paraphernalia and her book bag on top of it, because he's asking her. He's like, "Do you have anything else in the car? Do you want to tell me right now? I'm trying to go easy on you here." And she's like, "No, there's nothing." And then he comes back, and I'm laughing. I'm like, I just met this effing broad. Like, he goes, "No, I get it." He goes, "Trust me." He goes, "You're not the problem. I get it." It was pretty nice. But then after that, we had a civil discussion. I shook his hand. I said, "Thanks, for letting me off with, it was a warning, like a pink slip. Basically said, like, don't do screwy shit in my town." And then she got 6 months probation. Like, she didn't have a non-visitation probation, meaning, don't be stupid and keep your nose clean, and put your shit in order, or then we'll pull you in for a reason. But, I hate people like that. I have no sympathy. I'm sorry. It's like when you catch breaks like that and people are trying to help you to get out from the cracks or whatever the hell you're going through. Like, don't keep damaging yourself. Don't do stupid shit like that. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
Stupid shit like what?
It's a low-level addict mentality. I mean, here's somebody who's proud to, they kicked one thing. It's like...
What'd she do?
You took on 5 more, huh?
What'd she do exactly?
No, she was drinking all day. We were just hanging out. And, like, when I went to get something to eat, I said, "Look, I'll bring back food for, you and the kids. Let me know what you want." She goes, "Let me take a ride with you." And I'm like, "All right." And then she's like, let's take my car, because she wanted me to listen to something on the car, and I fixed like 3 things on it. And then she has an open container. I look at her, I'm like, can you have an open container in this state? And she goes, oh yeah, it's like they're casual here. I'm like, wow, that's not the first. Yeah. So when he pulled us over and he looked at me, she moves her foot in the car to try to cover the beer. She puts it down on the floor. I'm like, you fucking C word. You know, I said it under my breath to myself, but you know, and then after that, she's sweating bullets, you know, and she's all like thankful to him and everything. And then like not even like 30 seconds later after he rolls, she's like angry. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she's crying. She goes, I'm not hungry anymore. I was like, well, I wonder why. She's like, I can't believe he took my stuff. Like he's going to destroy it, you know, like her paraphernalia. I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy just gave you a fucking break and a half. Like he could have busted your balls, towed your car, gave me a hassle.
That's what you're upset about?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, where's your goddamn priorities? You know, it's like, so I don't, you know, so I just broke with that person. I was supposed to work with them and do something for them. And I just said, you know what? I can't help. I'm not here to help damaged people anymore like that. There's enough people that are genuinely in need of help that, you know, can help others after they've helped themselves.
Yep. Either save me or enable me. Either way.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It's an enable. Yeah. 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 It's a shame. It's a real fucking shame.
Well, yeah, you can't help somebody
And
if
I
they don't want to help
apologize for the
themselves.
laughter. It was just Josh's comment just hit me in the right place because I do know so many people.
Say it again, Josh. Say it again. Wait. Say it. It's worth hearing again.
I said, save me or enable me.
That's profound. What were you saying, Walt? How did that hit you?
No, it was one of those things. True laughter comes from that sudden shocked place. So yeah, that was great, Josh. Love it. Know too many of those people. Yes.
And listen, I get it. I'm far from perfect. I've been down and I've had.
I used to be one of those people.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not gonna.
I used to be one, and I used to only be attracted to women that were the same way.
What, codependent relationships?
Oh, so horribly damaged good codependent enabling relationships. Yeah. Yep.
And now you're a flat earther. Congratulations.
Well, now I'm waking up and very solitary.
If I can
that
only
says
find
a lot, though.
I can start an empire.
I think that this has happened to a lot of flat earthers in one way or another, not specifically, you know, some type of drug or this or that, but almost all flat earthers have had the ability to say, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I want to fix this. I want to get better. And they did it, you know? And then when flat earth came along, they were like, hey, wait a minute, this is wrong. I'm going to change my mind. Where a lot of the people that have never gone through anything like this, you know, they see flat earth and I don't know, it's weird. It's like they've never had to admit that they were wrong before or did something or were thinking wrong, you know? They've never had that inside feeling like, wow, this is bad. I need to change this right now. And everybody has their poisons. Like my sister never did drugs, never smoked, barely ever drank or anything like that. Never had those problems. But she's like obese and she has a problem eating. And that's her vice. You know, and she's never gotten over that vice. To whereas, you know, flat earthers who have gotten over all these different vices are still, you know, battling their demons. They've already admitted that, yeah, what I'm doing or what I was doing is wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. I think that helps.
Not for nothing, though. I always feel like the flat earth, you know, tagline should be Google gobble or something. No judgment, right? We don't judge anybody here.
No, not at all.
Isn't that the line from that movie?
That is, sir. One of us. Google gobble.
What movie?
Anyone in chat knows what that is? You rock.
No, but in all
good
seriousness,
with movie references. I don't know that one.
That's from Freaks, from the movie
Old school movie Freaks. Yes, sir.
That
Never
ending
seen
is, That ending is over the top, though. Like I didn't
It's
expect
quite, yeah, quite. It's one of those like real obscure yet cult followed and just really crazy movie.
Yeah.
Look into it. I'll drop a link.
I yell that out in busy bars every now and then, especially if it's a really nice posh restaurant. Like everybody else is like going cheers, and I'm like at the table, and I'm like Google gobble Google. You get a few chuckles from around the room, like people that know it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you're the freak I'm going home with tonight. Which is the name of the movie, right? Freaks. But
when did that come out? Was that 80s, 90s, 70s?
1928, 32, around there. Like right after they put sound to film media.
Oh yeah, like 32. Yeah. Sorry, I was muted up trying to drop stuff in chat. Yeah, pretty sure it was 32. Let me look it up. Freaks movie.
I knew it was
32. Yes, sir.
I knew it wasn't 38, or it would have had a chance against It's a Wonderful Life or The Wizard of Oz.
And Zach, you'd probably recognize if you looked and saw just a screenshot of a dinner party, you'd probably recognize the movie. Probably.
Yeah, you've seen shots.
You've seen shots of pinheads and
yeah, people will drop it in their videos. And
that's where Zippy the Clown came from, like that character with the pointed head.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway,
I'm gonna have to go check it out now.
No, but in a microcosm, and again, I'm not trying to be, wrong or rude here. It's just that, it really hurts, like when you see somebody who's on the upswing, who's got a chance to gain everything, like their whole life back, and yet they still don't see that, they're creating the problems, that are just taking them down with each step. They're making it like 100 times harder, and they got all the right people around them that are, cheering them on. So it's a painful thing to see, in states of self-destruction. And it makes you wonder, it's like, wow, do they have to go down harder yet? Like, how much more do they have to lose before they hit rock bottom? And then you realize you can't save the whole world. And, I think that's part of the thing that I'm seeing, too, with this arguments on vaccine versus non-vaccine versus the elections. People don't care. They're, they know that the game is rigged, but nobody's acting like Rambo and fighting back. So, it's a little disheartening.
There's a song in there somewhere about how everybody's rock bottom is different.
Is that right?
Well, I'm just saying, no, that someone needs to write that song.
Oh,
you just said there is definitely a song in there, the story of a song. We see other people and it's like, wow, my rock bottom would have already happened. What are they doing?
That's the same thing with, like, this is what I hate about universal this, that, or, the universal basic income, any of this stuff, welfare. It's not that it can't work, right? It's not about making people weak. It's that, let's say you were just on the edge of success, right? Or what you consider success, paying your bills, your mortgage, whatever. And you only need $100 to make it through the week, right? And some people say, why don't you get out and work a fucking Uber or something? It's like, well, I'm already working 3 fucking jobs, and so is my wife, and we got a special needs kid, all this shit. All we need is $100. We've calculated, we've given up on cable, given up on all the extras. We don't go out to eat. And there's assholes that'll say, oh, you don't need that, work for it. But that $100 could take you from the difference of being really dependent on the system and falling through the cracks, or just making it where you can actually start to make gains, right? Get ahead without getting a flat tire, God forbid. Then you have other people that outright just might need more care, for wheelchair, diabetic medicine, whatever the hell they need. The point is that you can't give everybody the same amount, because you're going to get people that are going to abuse it, don't really need it, right? And it's not about like, oh, well, how come they get that much and I only get this much? Because it's based on what you need. It's almost like that scene in, again, here's a reference. It's a Wonderful Life. When they did a run on the building and loan building. And the one guy was a real arrogant prick, wanted all his money back. And the old lady was like, I just want, $18.32 or something. And he was, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that would be a healthy society, a functioning society, and that's not where we live. Everybody has their friggin' hand in the pot. I want mine first. 2 fists in it, when the pizza comes. So it's kind of
money.
sad. It's more than money. It's a pervasive idea of this lack of this idea of lack, right? This is a poor mentality. So it's really a spiritual deficit as well. The money's just a placeholder. You know?
Yeah, with all the food everywhere, there should be no starving people.
No,
there should be giveaway by date. Not sell by date, but giveaway by date. To where the last 2 weeks, month, the stuff is, a lot of it's good for like a year and a half, 2 years. And it's sitting on some shelf somewhere for 6 months before it ever even sees the store.
Yeah, but you know what? You're still gonna get those friggin' rich fucks that come in with pallet loads, and they're gonna be like thinking, well, why can't I have any of that? It's like because there's people that legitimately need it. Like you don't need more hostesses and Capri Suns and crap to stick in your pantry. This person's got nothing. You're not talking quality food either at that point if it's got that kind of shelf life. But anyway, I hear what you're saying. That would be a functioning society, but we don't live on that, not on this flat Earth or any other.
No.
So
I wonder if at one time it was like that. Whoever built all these huge structures all over the place that we're still unearthing, probably today somebody will find something.
Well, if you think about it, you look at many societies, or even the concept of like Ubuntu in little villages and things like that. And when you're really dependent on your village, on the people around you, then you're going to have delegated roles, right? You'll have your hunters, you'll have your people that are cooking, taking care of the kids, educating, whatever, guarding the village. And you don't have the complexities that we have now. People think like smartphones, all this other shit enhances your life. No, you're tethered to it all. You're attached to it all. You're screwed.
Well, yeah, your phone is smart, but you're dumb now. Back in the 80s, you had to remember phone numbers in your head.
Right.
There wasn't a little button that said, oh, call this person or this person. You had to remember my phone number with the house I grew up in. 219-942-1543. I learned that when I was like 4 years old.
Did I tell you about that idea I had? Wait. I got to tell you this before I lose my thought. About like a guy who's like Clint Eastwood who comes from the past, right? They extract him out of the past, or he accidentally goes through a portal. And he's like, Clint Eastwood would be great, but he's pretty up there now. And he sees all the crap that's going on now and people taking selfies and stuff. And he just like makes that look that Clint makes when he's annoyed and smacks the phone out of their hand and smacks him across the face with the other. Like looking at today's society, he's like from the 50s and he's like, what's wrong with you people? Don't even mow your own lawn. What is this shit? Take pictures of yourself all day. You know what I'm saying? Like just, and then you see, well, I can go down a lot of paths. I thought this was the guy's room. I'm sorry, sir. This is a special room for anyone. What are you talking about? I got a penis right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and here's the thing, he's in black and white, and nobody sees it. You only see him in black and white. Because for his world,
say this stuff on the radio like this, because someone's gonna go make this movie.
I don't care. Let him go make it. But I'm saying that the whole thing of him being in black and white is the duality of there's only my way or the other way. You see what I'm saying? And in the world we live in today, it's like anything goes. So that whole black and white duality plays into it. Anyway, that was a free idea. I threw it out there.
There you go. Yeah, you're not big on giving out free ideas. You usually hold your cards pretty close to the chest.
Do I?
Uh-huh.
Maybe. Well, because you usually have to sign in blood for them if you want them. I signed a contract, and there's words like perpetuity and eternal and soul and shit like that.
Gotta get it in writing.
I need your nom de plume. Right here, please.
So yeah, it seems like this whole super leftist agenda, like what you were just talking about, the bathrooms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they pushed a little too hard with their little agenda.
The LBG community, they're kicking out the T's. Did you see that article?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They went too far with the whole allowing men to go into bathrooms with women. Did you hear about that high schooler that
kid in high school,
different women?
Yeah,
girls in the bathroom at school.
You see how they handled the first case? That kid should be in juvie. No.
Yeah, they just moved him to another town and let him do it again.
And he did it again. I think I think this fact that he did it twice is brilliant. I think at that point you should just let him go completely. Because basically it's not even about him anymore. It's about mocking the system. It's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. You just gave me a free hall pass. You told me it was okay. How can you blame me? I'm a 14-year-old kid. I don't know any better. Now you're going to punish me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not condoning what he did in any. I'm saying that would be the mockery to piss people off enough to affect change, or maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe
the fact that he did it twice was,
was balls.
The kicker. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a penis. It was something, but balls were involved for sure. But yeah, what kind of world do we live in? I mean, what father didn't go out there and didn't the father go after? There was somewhere where some kid was raped and the father took action. They wound up arresting him, and he said to the cop, he said, "What would you do if this happened to your kid?" It was that kind of scenario. Maybe it was that scenario. You know what it is?
We don't ringing a bell for sure. Something.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
No, I think there was actually a video of something that occurred. It seems like.
We don't get offended enough by the things that we used to when there was decorum and some kind of, idea for the way society should be, right? And now we have these people that are falsely hurt. Like they're so fucking oversensitive. Everything is
right. Exactly. We went from true morals to freaking whatever this madness we're existing in is, judgmental, self-entitled. Only I can be offended bullshit that people seem to think is how things should work.
That's another one. These dingbats, especially in the so-called spiritual communities, and I'll say it from all up and down the coast of Florida, where I've been for the past year. You say something, and it's like, you shouldn't judge other people. And I'm like, judgment? I'm 49 effing years old. It's like, this is called discernment. Judgment is when you're a stupid kid from age 15 to 30. No, I'm sorry, you're still a kid. 40. From 15 to 40, and you make an opinion without logic, fact, or anything backing it. That's judgment. But when you have enough life experience and you know wrong from right and you were raised the right way, that's called discernment and wisdom. There's a big difference.
Yeah, I've definitely learned to try to put myself into people's shoes before declaring them wrong.
Exactly, but there's another when you see what's glaringly wrong and you're not going along with the status quo because you don't care who judges you. There's people nowadays they want to be on the right side of TikTok or the right side of social media or whoever might say otherwise. And now, like we just said, the LGBT whatever it is dropping the T because they've overstepped their boundaries.
And this whole critical race theory is not flying either. I'm sorry. Every race of person has oppressed some other race.
Or their own.
In time. Or their own. Yes. There is no good race. There are good people and bad people. And it doesn't matter what race they are. To make a claim like this they're teaching racism. They're dividing people into big groups by their race and saying, well, these people were really bad back in the day while all these were the oppressed people. Well, it depends on where in the world you're talking about, what time you're talking about. Because, I'm sorry, every race has been oppressed at one time or another.
Well, this is why they had to change the narrative for how they define racism. And only white people could be racist. If you were a minority, well, you just couldn't be racist because you didn't have any real power in society. Only white people could be racist.
I don't understand that.
That was part of them laying down that foundation for this critical race theory.
When you say they, which they? Because I know who they are, and I know who's doing it, and I know which group is targeted, and the reason why.
On the ground, the boots on the ground level, it's the professors at these liberal arts colleges that are teaching the young impressionable minds that this is what racism is and that this is what real adults believe.
Okay, let me say it another way. And who controls the schools, who are the head superintendents and heads of colleges, and who controls media, which promotes it? Who controls the banking system, which all I see is black-white division. Blacks and whites, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, have together worked to fight alongside each other, not against each other, to support this country and defend it against most of our enemies. Then you have these quote unquote other white people, just like pork, the other white meat, and they seem to use that ability to subterfuge and do it to their own kind and white people specifically. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah.
It's definitely a very high probability. I mean, it's definitely accurate in it's definitely possible. Makes a whole lot of sense to me.
This would be one of those statements where Walt's brother Paul is like, "Yep, you guys are speaking in tongues again." There's so many people out there who have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm just saying that the whites and blacks in this country in early America were all Christians, Christian based mostly, whether it was Protestant, Catholic, whatever it was, but it was Christian based, and they couldn't have that kind of affront on American soil, so they had to undermine it and destroy it. So
yeah,
that there's
back in the 30s, black families stayed together more often
even in the
than
50s,
not.
Even in the 50s, before what's that stuff? Planned Parenthood and all the welfare systems and everything like that. Like before that was all put into place, and then on the white side, you had feminism, acid drops, LSD, and all that, and the whole cancel culture of the, coming from the, England and all those influences and from Eastern philosophies and things. They had to destroy it. So then you conveniently, you have the Vietnam War. You target whites and blacks again, primarily, put them in war, send them home sick. I mean, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, I think they, but like Josh said, they're going to back it off now.
No.
But it'll be 80% back off, They went 100% this way, now they're going to back it off to about 80% back.
Oh, no,
they're
20%
is always going to be there.
They can even back it off.
The other side of some of these coins, I think that part of what's got people also where we are these days is the idea of the classic nuclear family. When we live together as communities, as big groups of an actual, I hate to say tribe, because that goes so into that cliche 90s, let's all get some tattoos on us thing. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about societies where everyone goes through things together as like raising kids, as instilling the customs and the ways of survival for this group of people going forward, where the ancestors and the elders are respected, not shunned and ridiculed and put away in some dank place. Different lifestyle when we were groups that were for tribes. So the idea of the nuclear family and that whole thing having been broke down, again, I think that was a way of, again, separating people. I don't know. I'd probably step on a lot of toes here, and we're almost at break, it looks like. So if we even get one this time.
Well, I'm just going to have to go smoke a cigarette. So I'm going to wait until there should be break music, and if I hear it, then...
And I've said too much today, this morning. I only came out here to take a piss, so...
That's fine. Shout out really quickly there to everyone in chat who arrived a bit late. I see you guys speaking about Mac, Flat Earth Focker. Yes, we talked about all the sad news there at the beginning of the show, and our heart definitely goes out to the family, to the friends. I know he touched a lot of you personally, not just as a content maker, which he also touched a lot of people with his great content. He definitely came from the heart with everything I saw that man do. He was a beautiful soul, and he will be missed. And thank you all for all those kind comments there in chat.
Yeah,
they should be scrolling by
note,
there on the screen, hopefully, if things are for normal.
I'm going to take my leave for the next hour so you guys can talk about that if anybody's going to call in or, whatever you guys are going to discuss. But again, I'm sorry for his family and friends, whatever the situation is.
Thank you for hanging out with us, Jonathan.
Yeah.
It's always good to hear from you, sir. Glad you're getting back to where you need to be, for sure.
Wherever that is.
Wherever that might be.
We
Physically,
were talking about you on Wednesday.
Locationally, yeah, we did.
All right, brother. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Love you, man.
Love you, Jonathan. Have a great rest of your weekend.
You too, Mr. Josh. All right, see you later, Zach.
Shout out there to
we're at
Nora.
the precipice here.
Shout out to Sandra. Shout out to everybody there in chat. Yeah. We are all at a loss and feeling the loss of Mac this morning. It's hard. We can take a lot. As flat earthers, we learn to bear a lot of weight. But when you lose, again, 3 very good men in the community in as many weeks, it's tough. 1 is tough. 2 is tough. 3 is ridiculous. We've been at this for a while, so it's probably not going to stop. Chances are flat earthers will come and flat earthers will go. That is probably just going to be the way of the world.
Yeah, we've lost many great people before. Shoots and Neats, Andy Dover, Aaron Dover, not Andy Dover. Goodness. Anyway,
Smith,
I think we're into the break period here, so go smoke your cigarette, Josh.
You want me to play something? You want to just sit in silence, or you guys want to just carry through?
I mean, you could play some of your music you have found. I'm sure you've got something ready, huh? Or would that take a minute for you to find it?
Oh, no, I'm sure I got something. What kind of mood we in?
See, at this point at a radio station, you would put on, like, Riders on the Storm. That's a great long player. Or pretty much anything by the Doors works out.
Anything by the Doors, anything by Led
Zeppelin. Yeah. Anything over 4 minutes you go with, because most songs
Freebird.
3:15, 3:30 at the most. So yeah, you get a good Freebird going. It's time to go take a break. Telling y'all secrets. Or you're going like, what's that smell in the back studio door out there? I don't know. What's that?
What is that funny smell? Being attacked by a herd of skunks? What's going on?
I think skunks have come into the building.
Smells like Otto's jacket.
Nice. Very nice. Stan Smith. Thank you. Thank you, Nora.
I did give that shout out earlier. I don't know if you heard me. It was kind of quiet.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I probably was rambling. It's been a rambly day. I've tried to retain my emotions, but...
So I don't know how long these are. This isn't going to be one, so it may just play through a few whilst I smoke.
And I saw our good buddy Rob there in chat earlier. Rob, we miss you.
Definitely. Shout out to Rob out there in Australia. Townsville.
Fighting a good fight. And welcome back. Let's play Name That Artist. This sounds like someone trying to sound like Jimi Hendrix to me. What do you think, Walt? Who is that trying to sound like? Or has Walt stepped away as well? Rush. I would say that sounds like Rush. And the men who hold high places. The speed of I'm hearing like a cream vibe here.
They been playing anything good while I was gone?
We heard a little Jimi Hendrix, a little Rush.
Yes,
Well, I
they
did.
have.
This is a playlist curated by the website. These are all. This is 12 tracks. Actually, this wasn't curated by the website. This was curated by somebody called Maggie. Maggie has a playlist here, almost famous, inspired music.
Right? That's
Music.
exactly. We kept getting vibes. Yep.
That's what it is.
Some Journey in there. Yep. Ian heard it. Yep.
Good stuffs. Good stuffs. Oh, hey, let's do this. Although I probably can't because you're going to be a pain in my ass.
Good
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
morning, TFR.
That sounds really weird. Why the hell was that playing slow?
Yeah, you were dragging earlier. I thought you were actually doing some kind of effect. I forgot to mention that at the top of the show because we were all kind of shook. Yeah, you had a weird warbly thing going on the
Iron Scouts promo?
Scouts promo.
Yeah,
Yep.
I heard that too. Like it speeds up and slows down.
Sped up, slow down. I thought you were kind of just playing around. I know you have the sounding transmitter.
You never can tell what I'm going to do or when I'm going
Yes,
to
you're
do it.
quite active. I thought the camera was on this time, actually. The light on my camera was on, and then I saw that the actual symbol was dark. I'm like, okay. And I clicked it, and then I saw Don say, there's Walt. So, yeah, me and the kittens have been here hanging out with y'all all this time.
Weird.
Yeah, who was that again? Maggie? Who put that together?
Uh-huh.
That playlist?
Yep.
Thank you, Maggie. That's a really cool program you got there.
Isn't that nifty? And that was just off the rock genre. And it separates down into sub-genres as well, and those were all low-quality preview sounds. Like, it's on the preview screen, so I just kind of click play to preview the sound, and it plays it, and then moves to the next and plays it, and moves to the next and plays it. And so that's just what I did. And I'd be real curious to see what the quality is if they actually downloaded a file, which I'm pretty sure is a WAV file, if downloaded, which is uncompressed, so I would think that it would be even a better sound. Yeah, I will. You guys can go over there if you want and just search through all the stuff. And because we have the membership, if you find something you like, let me know and I can download it and save it. And we can set up an IRM playlist of all the things we like or whatever.
Never ever.
Right. If you guys in chat hear something you like, let us know and we'll try to stick it in the list as well. Or hit it up on the Telegram that we're all using every day. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to transfer over. If you understood how long I've been on Twitter. Oh, Twitter.
Boo.
Yeah, I canceled my Twitter account. It's gone. I apologize to all the Iron Scouts there on Twitter, but I'm still on Telegram and all those other places. And I'll always be right here every Tuesday and Friday if you need to get a hold of me.
So I did drop into chat.
Liz. Oh, sorry. Go, Josh.
No worries. I was just going to say I dropped into chat the link for the little program that we're using. In case any other content creators there in our chat, there's a little IRM secret sauce there for you.
Secret sauce.
Martin,
Secret sauce.
much love, brother.
Right. Martini and Rossi in the house. Love you, Martin. Real quick
Like,
there, Liz. We'll be glad when you get your time back correct as well. Thank you for making it work. We love you, lady. All of you guys who get here at the weird time that we're on. Weird for us, anyway. But we appreciate it.
Just right for you.
It might be.
But yeah, it is pretty early. I don't like getting up when... Well, I do like getting up before the sun peeks his head up, but I like seeing, light.
I do, too. I
Little bit
really
of-
enjoy
yeah.
seeing the light. I was a little depressed when I switched over the sun on our broadcast screen here to the moon because I no longer see the sun during the show. It's no longer first light while we're doing the show. So if the moon's out, it's just all moon, all show, which...
Speaking of the moon, that moon. Hi. Speaking of the cat. Hi, sweetie. Anyway, goodness. So, we've discussed the moon at length. What is it? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it making its own light? Is it reflecting? Is it a dome reflection of our map that we live on? Is it some kind of weird photographic effect created by some kind of past antiquitech? Is it not even there? Is it a crystal floating in some kind of weird floaty realm above us? Let me think. What else have we talked about? Okay, so then we go to the idea of how are those marks made upon the moon? They definitely don't seem to be craters in any kind of way. They seem to be some type of electromagnetic discharge that happens in dirt that we see, that the electromagnetic universe guys seem to keep being able to reproduce, but definitely doesn't make sense that they would be meteorite or asteroid impacts or whatever. So if you think about, okay, there are histories talking about a time when there wasn't a moon in our sky, and then suddenly there was a moon in our sky. So who put the moon in our sky? And if these histories were being recorded, that means people were here recording them. So the moon was put in the sky after people were here, it would seem. And that's fucking nuts. So what is that moon? Is it floating up there? Is it some kind of thing that got parked, quote unquote? And if people were trying to park it, did they perhaps at one point get a little too close to our electromagnetic battery we sit upon? And did that strike an arc back and forth and create those craters, those mirrors, those oceans that we see on the face of the moon that's always facing us? Okay, so if that's true, interesting. Turns out Roland Emmerich, who directed some of those big, bombastic Independence Day, the Godzilla remake, what was the other disaster film he did? Some other big disaster film. Anyway, that guy is doing a new movie in which the moon crashes to Earth because it's fake and not a real rock in space. Interesting. Can't remember the name of the movie. I'll find it and drop it in there for you guys. Hang on 1 second. Martin Lika says they floated it in with tugs. I love it.
Yeah, what if the moon absorbs, it putrefies, it decays things, it breaks them down. What if before the moon, that's when we had giants, and people lived to be 900 years old, and beasts got huge, and trees grew miles up into the sky? What if the moon had something to do with all this? The moon is absorbing so much energy from the ether as it's passing around. It doesn't allow that electrostatic charge that we live in to build up. It's actually dampening it now. I don't know. I know they say when the moon came in, according to all the, mythology, that great catastrophes happened.
Right.
As far as they knew, as far as their civilization stretched out to, there was calamity and floods and earthquakes and grounds heaving up over here and falling down over here. And yeah, it brought some wild stuff. It changed things, supposedly. So what if those changes meant, okay, there's no more 90-foot, no more 300-foot people anymore. They can't live here anymore. There's not enough energy, not enough oxygen, whatever, you want to call it. There isn't that anymore.
Interesting. Interesting, because your days will no longer be 120. Huh. Yeah, don't get me wrong. This movie is loaded with like space BS, aliens, I'm sure, who are driving the moon, and whatnot. I've not even watched the trailer. I read a quick little summary that came through one of my feeds. Oh, there is a trailer. Give me a second. I'll drop it for you guys.
We'll do it. Just wanted to give a quick reminder. Well, not a reminder. We wanted to make the announcement because other than what I just typed into chat, no one would have any way of knowing. But this evening, over
the True Train. Ooh, I'll stop.
Here on Have No Sphere on the Iron Man Media YouTube channel, Odyssey D Live, Facebook, Twitter, all the places we tend to stream live to. We will be having a returning guest, our good buddy James True, conductor of the True Train. All aboard. I have to dig out my train whistle sound effect just for tonight.
Man, it's been a hot minute since we've
I can't do it
with James.
It's too cold.
It's never a dull conversation when Mr. True is on the panel, that's for sure. He just brings, I don't know, so much insight and it's
such a unique perspective. Yeah.
Yes. I was trying to find the right word for it. But yeah, and so it's hard
James
to
True
disagree
tonight
with a lot of the stuff he says because it makes so much sense. And again, it's all about, as we grow up and we mature, we don't pass judgment. We start to try to put ourselves in other people's shoes first and think about that. Really think about it before you cast judgment on them. And the people who don't do that and have trouble doing that, they may find James a little, maybe too lenient on what should be done with all, they. And yeah, I'm in the corner of James. They're playing their role that they're supposed to be playing. I don't know. It's until you put yourself in their shoes, it's hard to say what you would do. It really is.
And especially if you were raised in that environment and you come to the conclusion that you're sort of either this or that there is, you can see things in a very black and white thing, and you're either good or you're evil, and you can be good. I could go be good and sort of change who I am and break this chain that my family's been carrying on for generations and do things differently and be that good person and struggle and go hungry and eat shit and do all the things that good people have to do. Or I can continue to live in the lap of luxury and be an evil piece of shit. I mean, it'd be nice to be a good person, but look how much struggling good people have to go through versus the ease of life when you're perfectly content to fuck people over and hoard Federal Reserve notes. And so when they're faced with that decision, I can't imagine anybody's going to say, yeah, let's go struggle. Let's go live the hard life and be a good person. They realize somebody's got to fill that role. Yeah, somebody's going. It's just the nature of the universe. The good and the evil. You have to have the evil. You have to have that dichotomy. You have to have that polar opposite. That is going to be there. And if you're already there, part of it, you're going to have a real hard time choosing to switch over and reverse that polarity to the other side and live that struggle. So when you say, well, shit, I'm serving my purpose right now being this evil fuck, so maybe I'll just continue to do it because that's my role. That's the role that we as evil fucks have been given, so we shall play the role.
And don't forget, there's a lot of people that start off good and they want to get to this certain role. But to be that role, you have to do things along the way and compromise your good. And the ones who actually get all the way up there to that position, they have done that. And some compromised their position along the way and then couldn't go any further. You know, they said, no, I can't do that. That's my line in the sand. Okay, well then somebody will. They know somebody will fill the position.
That's why they breed the psychopathy into the society. So there'll always be plenty of a large enough pool of psychopaths to draw from that you can lure over to the dark side through the ease of life and the hoarding of Federal Reserve notes.
Yeah, it's like I said, if you really want to choose to judge someone, you gotta really think in depth about being in their shoes. I mean, go back to their childhood. And I'm not even going to call it programming, just their upbringing. You know, we're not all raised the same. We're not all shown love and affection and care. And it's not just elites that are doing this to their children. There are plenty of poor people out there that, they just don't have that empathy in them. It's scary. It really is. But yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying now. I'm sorry. I lost that train of thought. But yeah, it's like Daz in chat says, we all have good and evil in us. And it's all about perspective. You may think you're doing good. We see a lot of it now with all these social justice warriors. They think they're doing good and they think they're changing things for the better when there's other people out there that think that they're harming, society by what they're doing. So really it is. It's all about point of view and perspective. And judging someone that you don't understand, I don't see how you really can. So yeah, but James really does that. He thinks deeply. He says, hey, this is what they were taught. Who was it? The Jesuit priest. Shout out Iru. Give me a child's, first 7 years, and I will give you a lifelong slave. It's all about how that person is influenced at that young age on how they think life should be or is. And we all think it's the same as ours, I was loved by my parents. I had a good time growing up, brothers and sisters and all that kind of stuff. It's not like that for everybody. So you really got to think about it. And it's to actually know the person, you would have to actually know what happened to him, not just what might have happened to him or this or that. So yeah, I'm with James on a lot of this stuff. We can't say that these people are just evil. They're just being, what the influence around them have shown them and said was okay and wrong. This is how they were taught right and wrong. If they look at other human beings as an animal, and that's how they're raised to think of it, then is it any different how most humans, we treat cattle and chickens and all the other things and put animals in cages so we can walk? It's not that different. So yeah, that's why I feel bad for all these people, because they didn't have that childhood of love and caring and all that kind of stuff that I did, most likely. And I'm not saying all secret society families are like this either. I mean, a mother's love is more powerful than a lot of programming. I'm sorry. A father's love. So I'm sure the spell gets broken all the time and things happen. It's that internal struggle that everybody gets to go through. So yeah, I can't wait for the conversation with James tonight. This guy, I've missed him a lot.
Yeah,
I kind of need him.
Indeed. I can't wait. Shout out to Tommy, that flat fellow, dropping that super chat. Also letting us know that apparently, well, it just says, I love living in South Carolina. Our governor just signed an executive order banning any mandate for the jab. No longer have to fear for your jobs here. Your body, your choice. New meaning. Nice, brother. Nice.
Yeah, this is a special place. I really fell in love with it the first time I came through and built that garden for just Jack. It's just I don't know, there's something about not even just the climate and things like that, but the people. This is Southern hospitality. Yeah, just a special place, Tommy. I agree. And if you'd like a little bit of normal in your life, if everybody around you is walking around with a diaper on their face and freaking out if you could cough, if you want to go a place where it was like a few years ago, come to South Carolina, the Spartanburg area. I was out yesterday a few different times, 3 different hardware stores. I think I saw 2 masks all day. That was it. Old people, everybody. Nobody's wearing them down here anymore.
Yeah, the Louisiana guy just dropped our mask date as well.
So yeah, there is normal still out there, folks. It's not crazy everywhere. If you live in one of these places where, it's just insane, some of the stuff that's going on still, that's why it's so hard for me to, I don't know, it's not really affecting me in a way like it's affecting so many people. So it's hard to get as mad and upset about it because I'm not seeing it. If I didn't hear about it, I wouldn't even know it was going on.
And that's what they call compartmentalization.
Mm-hmm.
And probably one of the big reasons America's not standing up more.
Oh yeah, if everybody knew what was going on all over the country, different places around the world.
Right.
I mean, it's not just here in this country. The whole world is standing up against this and has had enough. and we don't see any of it talked about on any of the mainstream media channels. You can take your pick. Nobody is speaking about all the protests going on all over the world. And it's funny because at a lot of these protests, Let's Go Brandon chants start popping up. They were chanting Let's Go Brandon in Spain, in Brazil.
Well, there's like, you can watch a montage of these world leaders prior to our illustrious president coming forth with the name of his infrastructure bill, right? Before he even came out with this, you can go back and listen to the montage of all the other world leaders using that alliterative phrase, the build back better. So many other world leaders were using the phrase before Joe Biden came out with his infrastructure plan to build back better. So somewhere in those closed door meetings amongst the world leaders and the elite, they've been using this phrase, build back better, and have dubbed it to be the repetitive brainwashing phrase that they'll be using everywhere to build back better. Got to build it back up, right? You got to build it back. When do you build something back? Only after it's been torn down. Only after it's gone. You can repair it. You can do all other sorts of things and make improvements to what's there. But if you have to build something back better than it was, it's because what was is no longer there. To build back better. So just keep that in mind when you start listening to all these other world leaders talking about building back better. And how it is they think they're going to bring this order out of chaos.
Georgia Guidestones, anyone?
Well, Tommy will be out in South Carolina, a big meetup Sunday from 1 to 4, picking up trash along the interstate with huge flat earth flags and trash bags with globes on them. Nice, brother.
That is the way to do it. Do some real community service and get out there and flat smack whilst serving the community. That's awesome. I dig it.
Amazing idea. That's... I love you guys. That's... wow.
Man, that looks like we might be talking over the break again.
I don't hear.
Sorry, Chris.
Sorry. Much apologies. I mean, we could take a break and sit here in silence in hopes that maybe somewhere they're playing commercials for people to listen to. Or we could just keep going, knowing that the audience that we do have would be listening to silence, since where they're listening isn't playing anything during the commercial breaks. I think we should just keep going.
Echo. Sound.
Somebody stole my car radio and I'm just sitting in silence.
So we could touch on some space lettuce, because
there's something even better than space lettuce, my friend.
And before we get into the space lettuce or all the accoutrements, I just wanted to add my 2 cents here. The governor here in Missouri has went ahead and joined a few other states in filing a lawsuit against the federal government in the way that they're trying to mandate these vaccines for federal contract employees, of which I am one. And apparently, federal contract employees make up about, listen to this, 20% of the workforce. 1/5 of all workers here in the U.S. work for someone who is contracted directly with the U.S. federal government. This is what we mean by big government. This is why they take your tax money and spread that tax money around, because it creates dependency on those dollars that have been stolen from our hard-earned money and put into some big community chest to be doled out for, well, let's be honest, most of it is for that military-industrial complex and keeping it going. So it's everywhere from postal workers to the guy cleaning the toilets at my work. I mean, we're federal contract employees, and President was trying to enforce that on there. But apparently we get special treatment even according to the government, where they're going to be super lenient, they said, on exactly how each employer enforces the mandates. So
they get to pick and choose.
Yes. Rules for me, not for thee, or vice versa. But then that being said, there has been a recent breakthrough case of COVID. Fully vaccinated, tested positive, would be my wife sleeping in the next room. So there's that.
So what did that vaccine do to stop her from getting COVID?
Well, see, it's like this, Zach.
No, it makes it better. It makes it easier.
Like when God, remember when
Somebody.
Eve and Adam ate from the fruit, from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and as punishment...
Now you sound like you're just cops-plaining to me.
As punishment, God said to Eve, I will greatly increase your pangs in childbearing. Yet your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you. The funny thing is, Eve had never had a child. There was no Cain and Abel at that point. This was just Adam and Eve. How would Eve have any idea of what childbirth was, or how it was supposed to feel, or what it was going to do to her body, when God said, I will greatly increase your pangs in childbearing? Meaning, look, you've not had kids yet, but it was going to hurt. Now it's going to hurt like shit, because I'm just going to totally rearrange the way those babies come out, and it's going to fuck you up, all because you ate that fruit. It's the same thing. They're just bluffing. Maybe it wasn't going to hurt her. Maybe what he did was make it hurt less. How would she know? She's never had any of those experiences. It's the same. How do we know? Maybe the vaccine would have kept her out of the hospital. But how do we know she would have gone in the first place? How do we know how bad her COVID would have been if she hadn't gotten vaccinated? Because this COVID is the same COVID that presents as asymptomatic, or in English, healthy. So you just never can tell.
Well, yeah, but my whole point is, if it doesn't prevent her from getting it or spreading it, then why do people care if I get it? I don't understand that. What's the big deal? It's not preventing me from sharing it. It's not preventing me from getting it. Why do you care if I get it or not? I'm still as contagious as I ever was. I can spread it to people still, even after getting the injection. So what difference does it really make if I get it or not?
What a great
I believe Mad Pieman there in chat has hit it right there on the head. And I quote, because they're idiots. Unquote.
Well, look at this critical race theory.
The fucking lies they've been crippled by. There you go, Diva. Blinded by the lies.
Look at the critical race theory and how helpless we, as Caucasian Americans, how helpless we are at being toxic. I mean, we're just toxic people. We're slave traders. We're oppressors. As the white Caucasians, just as a race, we are inherently evil. What could we possibly do that could help society whatsoever? All we've ever done is tear society and minorities down as white people. What could we possibly do that could signal how virtuous that we really, really feel inside, despite of our skin color, despite the fact that we're white, we feel very virtuous. How can we signal to everyone that we do still care about everybody inclusively? I know we can carry on this bullshit lie that vaccines are a thing, and then we can make sure we get our vaccines, and then show everybody and tell everybody that we get a chance just how important vaccines are, that I got mine and you get yours and everybody else get theirs, that we get that 100% vaccinated herd immunity. Thank you very much, because that's what virtue signaling is. Fuck your rights. I want to do what makes me feel better about myself. And I think it all ties into that critical race theory and creating that need to be a positive influence, despite the fact that everywhere we see we're being called negative.
You know, people are standing up in droves. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Even the fire chiefs, the police chiefs, they're leading, you know, anti-mandate parades. And they were both vaccinated. It's not about the vaccination for some of these people, which I love. You know, it's, for a lot of people that's the hill, you know, that they're going to die on. You're not getting past this point.
That's not the hill I'm going to die on. That's, well, I guess it is, but it's certainly not the top of the hill. You're going to fight me all the way up this hill. You don't want to see what I do when I get to the top of my hill. We're at the base right now. This is where I'm starting, where I'm making my stand is at the base of the hill. And I will fight you every fucking step of the way till I get to the top. Sorry, don't mean to interrupt.
But then for some other people, it's, you know, it's not about getting jabbed or any of that. They're pro-vaccination, this and that. It's about our freedoms. You know, and our right to choose what kind of medical treatment we want. And that's a whole lot of people.
Or if we wanted it at all. The right to choose what kind of medical treatment we want sort of says, okay, well, you can have the Moderna or you can have the Pfizer. We will let you choose what type of medical treatment you want.
Well, no, because there's people out there that say my medical treatment is Jesus Christ.
Well,
and my faith in him will heal me.
That's right. It's the right to personal sovereignty. It's the very basis of any and all freedoms. Every freedom that you guys love and enjoy starts with the very basic concept of personal sovereignty. The power, the sovereignty, the freedom we have over our own body, minds, and thoughts and actions. Those are the things that bring the foundation of every other freedom. You want to be able to speak, it's only because you have vocal cords. You want to practice religion, it's only because your brain is able to take in information and use that information to come up with its own judgments. You want to carry a gun? It's because you have a right to protect your body. You have sovereignty, that personal sovereignty, and a right to protect that personal sovereignty. It's the basis of every one of those freedoms. Whether you want medical treatment, whether you don't want any medical treatment. Maybe that's your decision. Maybe you say, I hear what you're offering, but no thank you. I'd rather just take the COVID. I would rather get sick. Remember, it presents as asymptomatic, or in English, healthy. So if I can get immunity, and I use that word loosely, better immunity, more protection just by getting your so-called virus than I would getting your so-called vaccine. Sounds like I'm better off just getting your so-called virus. Sounds like I should just get sick, stay home, and get healthy. Because what the fuck else could I do besides maybe go out and try to infect everybody else? But that's just the way it's always been. We do not have a right to health. You know, there's a few things we hold to be self-evident. That men have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You don't have a right to be happy. No one grants you a right to be happy. No one grants you a right to be healthy. However, you do have a right to pursue it how you see fit. Again, the basis of all personal sovereignty. And I'm just ranting on here. We've only got about 15 minutes. I'm going to shut the F up because I feel like I've been talking a lot this morning.
I love it.
But it was good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah,
And
but, common sense, I think, is finally popping into a lot of these people's head. They're attacking us with this boogeyman. It's the common cold, folks. We've been trying to figure it out forever, and they didn't figure it out. Still, you can't. It's yourself flushing out toxins. That's what getting the flu is. But the things that they allow, things that are actually can be really dangerous to people's health. In San Francisco, it's legal to just drop trow and shit on the sidewalk. It's just no big. It's all right. You know why we got polio way back in the day? Because we were drinking water that had feces and urine and all this other. Just think of how nasty it is. People shitting all over the place. How unhealthy and unsanitary that is. Yet, that's no big deal.
It's probably how most people will die when shit hits the fan. Dysentery from drinking bad water. No shit. Well, lots of shit. But, it's probably going to be bad water, bad hygiene, the same things that caused all the diseases in the first place. I'm sure they'll all come back once any sort of modern plumbing and running water is all shot to hell. And everybody's back to using outhouses and shitting in the streets like they're doing in several places
and this isn't
in the country.
Like new information. I mean, go to the Bible. It tells you about cleanliness. I mean, Jesus went around and washed people's feet, right? Supposedly. Isn't that how it goes? Yeah. They knew, that's where most parasites enter your body is through your feet.
That's where that was the dirtiest part of most people. People were walking around in the sand and dirt and dust and nothing but sandals with no socks. That was the dirtiest part of most people. Most people's feet were disgusting at that time. To reach down and grab someone's nasty, dirty ass feet said something about who you were. I mean, most people just didn't because it was gross.
Wasn't there a cannabis oil component to the foot washing?
I'm not sure. I know there was a cannabis oil aspect to sort of the anointing, but that was usually done upon the forehead or top of the head generally.
Maybe so. Maybe I'm conflating the two different ends of the body.
And I don't know very much, so take that for what it's worth. But even Islam,
probably.
Before you enter the mosque, you're cleaning, you're washing your nose, your mouth, your hands, everything gets cleaned. There's a lot to be said to that versus fake-ass vaccines.
But yeah, they're allowing these things that actually do make people sick to go on while mandating people to get something that prevents nothing but people's feelings getting hurt. That's all that it would prevent right now. And I'm sorry, they keep saying that we're still in a pandemic. How long does a pandemic take to make, death apparent? Does anybody notice lots and lots and lots more death around you? I mean, it's not happening. There's not body bags on the street. The coroners actually said that there was nothing going on until these pricks started taking place. And now they're back to business and they're getting more work than ever. I'm just saying, go look at what Bill Gates said he was going to do with vaccines and healthcare. TED Talks. What was it, 2011? They needed to get the population down as close to zero as possible because of global warming. So they wanted to get one of the numbers down to zero, and the easiest one to do was the humans. And with vaccinations and healthcare, they're going to lower the population by 15% by 20 whatever. That was their goal. You can go find news articles all over the place about Bill Gates working with all these different vaccine companies, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, all these different ones, to put out his vaccine. They told you what they're doing. They didn't even sugarcoat it for you this time. They didn't even hide it in plain sight. They flat out told us what they're going to do. And if you can't see that, bless your heart. Oh, sorry.
Well, Seeking Starwater in chat says they have completely rewritten the meaning of pandemic, which I think speaks volumes as to how they've done what they've done over the last 2 years. And the same reason that racism no longer means what racist used to mean, and everything, why they have to redefine the words, just like pandemic had to be redefined and vaccine had to be redefined, so that now you can get a vaccine during this pandemic. Because 2 years ago, if they'd have pulled this, it would not have been a vaccine or a pandemic. So they have to change the definitions of all these things so to make you believe you're in a pandemic, so that you'll take what you now believe is a vaccine. Which is basically just hijacking the transmitter of your DNA to how your cells build themselves. The messenger acids, ribonucleic acids, that tell the cells on what to become. What's going to be toenails? What's going to be hair? What's going to be a liver cell? What's going to be a skin cell? What's going to be what? All need messages from your DNA. And that's what the mRNA does. Sends those messages, carries the messages. So when you alter the message that is being given to the cell on what to become and how to build itself, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Because in 8 months, if my wife had gotten sick 8 months from now, she would have been unvaccinated. But because she got it now, it's a breakthrough case. Because now she's vaccinated. But in 8 months, she won't be. Because that's how vaccines work. That's how immunity works. So you got to stay up on your boosters if you want to continue to be vaccinated and in that special class of people that are allowed the special privileges of concerts and public gatherings.
Food and banking and, fun things.
Just take the mark. That's all you got to do. We're not talking about anything biblical here. We're not talking about the Antichrist or anything. All you need to do is take this mark on your forehead or on your hand, and you'll be able to buy and sell and use your currency. But nothing biblical here. Just shut up and do it. And we've only got about 5 minutes, 6 minutes left. We do want to take a little bit of time to, again, remember Flat Earth Focker, Mac, whom we tragically lost yesterday.
Yeah, he will be missed. I had the honor of meeting him multiple times at the different. He was always coming down from Canada to all the different events, and yeah, he was at the first Flattoberfest even. And we had a little thing between us about And I always asked him when I was on a show, or he was on a show and I was in chat or something like that, I would always send him something like, what is love? We had a long conversation about what is love. And we had come to the conclusion that love is the truth. You tell somebody the truth when you truly love them. Sorry, Jaren's in the background. You tell, whether it's good or bad, whether you don't want to tell that, whether it hurts you or it hurts them to tell that. The more you truly love them, the more willing you are to share that truth with them. So to truly love is to just be truthful with the person. And I will never forget that.
My head's been bobbing for 5 minutes now.
I mean, again, he set me up for it. You can't just say out there into the ether, what is love? And not expect to get share in return. But we're going to get struck big as shit for this. We've done pretty good.
I was already over on TFR looking for the gift, so it's there for you guys on TFR. Love you, Mac. Miss you so much, man. I'm glad you brought us a smile this morning, for sure. Right, Mad Palman says, thanks for sharing.
That's good stuff.
That's some quick wit right there. I love it. You guys are the best.
Well, definitely do not forget to come aboard the train this afternoon. The true train will be leaving the station probably, hopefully, pretty close to the correct time. We want to keep Liz up there in the weird time frame she's existing in.
Liz is a party animal.
She's a beast.
Just saying. She's made it through the end of some shows, and it's got to be like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
I know, right? And James True is definitely those shows when it just is like so much good going on, you don't want to leave it. So we definitely look forward to seeing you guys there this afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it'll be for you. You know how that works here across the plain.
It will be an hour earlier for Liz.
There we go.
We will try. Hope you all have a wonderful day. I cannot confirm that the sun is going to come around right now. I'm sorry. I'd be lying if I said it was. So right now it's still up for grabs, but I'm sure it will. It's a pretty,
Are you sure it's not
when
a little
that
bit
doesn't
lighter
happen?
out there? It looks a little lighter out there. The sky's a little bit lighter than it was a few moments ago, I think. I think something's making the sky
We have a
brighter.
lot of overcast. It's been rainy here and real cloudy and just real dark. So that could be the issue.
I hope it's the sun that's making the sky brighter.
Well, if you see it, then that's a good thing. That means it's on its way. I love the sun. Don't know what it is.
Thanks, Walt.
Or it's pesky moon. Just look up. That's why the dogs are howling at him. They're saying, "What the fuck are you?"
Zach keeps setting them up, and we keep knocking them back. It's musical Tourette's. I cannot control it, nor can I help it. Zach was giving me crap about it last night, actually. on the call. Anyway, we're about to get out of here. So thank you guys. Love you all. Thank you all for the kind words from Mac there in chat. Love you all. Thanks.
Definitely love you guys. We will go ahead and get the hell out of here. We'll just play a little something on out of here. You guys have a great rest of your Friday. Come back, see us this afternoon on Have No Sphere. We're going to have James True. Otherwise, we'll see you on Tuesday morning. Have a great rest of your weekend. To be good, to be well. Bye-bye.